The guest in the studio, it is Jill Ford, Representative Ford, District 73, and Ron Farris, who's an attorney. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
Thanks for
Good
coming
morning.
in. How's the weather out there?
It's cold. It's getting colder.
Is it iffy? It's not freezing. though.
Cold
Not
and
yet.
wet, but the driving conditions are still not icy yet.
They are okay. We can make it through the next couple of hours. I don't know if you heard the National Weather Service a few moments ago, but it may get iffy here all the way down to McGee coming up on, what do you say, Perez? Monday and Tuesday?
Monday and Tuesday and
maybe
possibly
even
Wednesday.
into Wednesday. So but again, it's February in the state of Mississippi, so what do you expect? A lot of things happened yesterday. We want to talk about the landfill. Ron, you're the attorney for the people who are trying to keep this thing out of here. Why don't we just go on and get it out of the way, too, though? I was a little perplexed on what happened since we got the first one, Jill, and the second letter. Ron, where are we now with that landfill? What's the status?
Okay, well, there's something up at MDEQ, and we're trying to figure out exactly what it is. It appears that, in essence, the people who have been fighting this landfill won last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
The landfill company, NCL, sent a letter to MDEQ that MDEQ received on February the 3rd, last Wednesday, that said, we give up. We are abandoning this project, and we want to withdraw our applications. And for some reason, as of today, MDEQ is not willing to acknowledge that withdrawal was effective. So as of today, according to MDEQ, the applications have not been withdrawn. And we're just asking, what's up? The only thing you have to do to withdraw an application in Mississippi, if you're trying to get a garbage dump built, is to write them a letter and say we withdraw our application, and it's done. But in this case, they did exactly that, and MDEQ is not acknowledging that that's valid, and we don't understand that.
Was there another letter from DCL saying that they had not requested that?
There was a letter that was received on February 3rd to DEQ from NCL. And, Ron, please correct me if this is not correct. On February 4th, there was a letter written to DEQ from the other owner, it's a ownership, a man from Mississippi and a man from Texas, I believe, 50-50 partners in this. And the one from Mississippi withdrew the letter on the 3rd, the letter dated the 2nd, and then the one from Texas wrote a letter on the 4th saying, do not abandon, let me see, I'm writing to request that all permit applications submitted to MDEQ relating to the NCL landfill project in Madison County be held intact and not withdrawn or rescinded.
Ron, you would think that this would be handled not by the ownership, but the attorneys as one spokesperson, wouldn't you think?
Well, this is the kind of thing that attorneys love. You can make a lot of money when business partners start to fight. Yeah. But the fact is that and this is important, and MDEQ should realize this, and I think they should acknowledge it as soon as they're able. And I get the fact that their lawyers may want to review it very carefully because they want to act accurately, but the fact is, the first letter that was written was from NCL, the company that has the applications pending for the landfill. Mm-hmm. It was sent by their attorney, John Bernini from Butler Snow, who has represented them throughout this entire process in front of MDEQ. They were their agent, if you want to talk law. They were their agent acting with apparent authority, and we think actual authority. They sent the letter on behalf of NCL and said, we quit. And that was submitted to MDEQ, and it was stamped received on February the 3rd. Now, that means that as of that date, the applications were withdrawn, period. Now, the fact that a letter came...
Wait a minute. Just because they got the letter, that's all that's needed?
That is correct. That's all MDEQ requires to withdraw an application. There's no form to fill out. That you just send them a letter from the owner, the person that is the applicant, saying we withdraw, and it's done. And that is irrevocable, and you cannot go back and reverse it. And the second letter just says, look, well, we've had a shakeup in our company, which we think probably happened after. We know it happened after that, and my point is, it is immaterial. Now, I can tell you what happened. There were two millionaire groups that owned that company. The Mississippi millionaire went home. He gave up. He went home, and the Texas millionaires changed their minds. They were for going home at first, and then they changed their minds and decided that they wanted to fight because this is all about money to them, and so that's what they want to do now, and that's fine if they want to take that position. But MDEQ, as of today, will not confirm that the applications have been withdrawn. So as of today, they've been withdrawn since last Wednesday, according to NCL. But they are not withdrawn as far as.
Is there any backup to oversee or checks and balances as far as if you have a dispute with MEQ? Where do you go? You got to go to the courts, or what happens next?
Well, there are two places to go. If MDEQ is an executive branch agency, so they answer to the governor. So the governor is one person, and the courts would be the other.
Have you done that? Have you gone to the governor's office and asked about this?
We are waiting to see. We want to do things right, and we're waiting to see if the administration of MDEQ, the executive director Chris Wells, probably I assume is about to weigh in on all of this, and we need to hear what they have to say. Yeah. And if we disagree with the way that's being handled, then I think we should talk to his boss.
Does it matter? And I don't know, but does it matter when they were written more so than when they were received?
Well, no, sir. No.
When they were mailed, when they were put in the mail.
Well, no, and if you look at it from that perspective, though, the applications are still withdrawn because the withdrawal letter was dated February 2nd. It was stamped received at MDEQ on February 3rd. The second letter that everybody's talking about, where they said, "Oh, well, we changed our minds. We want to rescind that earlier decision." Number one, the law doesn't let them do that, but that letter was written the next day on February the 4th, and it wasn't received at MDEQ until February the 8th.
Jill, this has been an eye-opener for us and for a lot of people in different communities in the state because, number one, we never thought that there was that money in garbage. But when you got people who are millionaires fighting for this and spending, I guess you would agree, a lot of money as far as legal and time and everything else, there's going to be a lot of money in garbage.
A lot of money in garbage.
Must be. Have you seen the amount of money that's possibility for them to make on this?
Well, when NCL decided to sue Madison County over all of this, they sued them for $60 million, and they said $2 or $3 million of that was what they were spending to try to get through this political process, and then the rest of that was lost profit. They never had to prove that because as a part of all this letter writing and everything, NCL also dismissed all those lawsuits. So now we won't get to see all those documents that would have proven what those damages were.
Now, is it still true that the garbage that they were going to put in this thing is not so much from the Madison County area?
It's from about over 40 states, almost 40 counties in Mississippi. About half the counties in Mississippi, between them and the landfill that's already there, would be dumping in Madison County, plus about 3 or 4 states. At this time, there could be more.
All right, so my question is, why wouldn't they stop this? And there's got to be land available in a lot of other places they could do this. Why choose one of the more highly populated with lawyers and with people locations in the state?
Well, they've got about 60 or 65 counties to choose from because that many counties do not have landfills at this time.
Yeah, but my question is, why would they choose that particular land?
Well, because the people from Texas owned it already, and this is their chance to sell it for a profit. Well, it's all about money.
That answered that.
Follow the money.
Yeah. So where are we, and what's your next move on this one?
Well, at this point, we and I do want to say this very quickly. Representative Ford has exhibited incredible leadership at the Capitol, along with in a bipartisan effort, along with Representative Ed Blackman from Madison County, in introducing House Bill 949 that passed the House 106-5 2 days ago. It's gone to the Senate, and now we're at the point where all eyes are on the Senate to see what Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann will do with that bill. They killed our bill in the Senate earlier this session, so we're hopeful that they will let the Senate vote.
It cleared last night's deadline.
Well, the House bill had passed the House floor day before yesterday, so we're good with that deadline, and now it's on to the Senate.
So the Senate bill was killed?
The Senate bill was killed earlier in the session.
So they're working with the House bill.
The House bill's the only one left alive, and if the Senate kills it, then the people have lost that fight again this year.
So I guess anybody concerned about this needs to just contact Lieutenant Governor.
Absolutely, and or their senator or senators.
I got you. As a matter of fact, we'll look up a number, give you a number, too, if you don't mind. We'll do that. Back with more coming up next. By the way, it's good to see Jill Ford and Ed Blackman on the same page.
Thank you. And I want to start off by saying thank you to Representative Blackman for co-sponsoring this bill with me. I realize the funny thing about stench is that it knows no boundaries and it knows no partisan lines. Secondly, I want to say thank you to Speaker Gunn because he was such an advocate for the people and literally helped me get this bill through committee and has witnessed firsthand just how ridiculous this whole process has been.
Yeah.
And most of all, I am so very thankful for the 106 House members that stood behind me on this piece of legislation. And, Ron, there were only 4 that voted against it, not 5. So I want to correct you on that.
4.
It was 5, but someone changed their vote. So,
well, one of the things we always say is because if this happened and there is money in garbage, no county is safe out there. I mean, they could go anywhere from the coast to North Mississippi.
Exactly. House Bill 949 is a very good piece of legislation for all of our counties, one that will keep anyone from ever having to go before the House body and stand up and beg on behalf of their constituents because of a multi-million-dollar industry trying to take advantage of them like they have taken advantage of Madison County. So this legislation literally would protect all of our state.
Yeah. We have a lot of land out there that people would sell pretty cheap if NCL wants to shop elsewhere for somebody who wants it in isolated areas. You want to bring industry to Essequibo County, this might be it because you got 600 people in the entire county. So.
Well, there's obviously big money in trash. You know, I didn't realize that until all this started to see how they'll spend millions to fight, a community, that really doesn't have the resources to fight them back. That's how they get away with this over and over again. And hopefully the state of Mississippi will step in and sort of protect its people in this case. But this bill that Jill is talking about is extremely important to the whole state. And I'll tell you why. Because the thing you have got to this bill only focuses on one thing. It prohibits the proliferation of putrescible waste. And I've learned what that is. That's anything that stinks in a landfill. And if you are in a county right now, this could happen to you as well.
I'm sitting here watching some of the Senate in Washington on this impeachment. And what was the word? Putricity?
Putrescible.
Putrescible. I think it's a perfect word for what I was watching on there. Putrescible actions.
Well, stinking is the same word, but putrescible is more fun to say.
It is. It's and you almost have to have mouthwash when you get through saying it.
Well, we Southerners have to be very careful saying things like that. Yeah.
Let me switch over to some of the bills. Senate Bill 2536. Jill, yesterday, a big day. Boy, the House and Senate was working hard yesterday for the most part. The one thing that I didn't think it was going to be a problem, and that was the Mississippi Fairness Act. It did pass, though, did it not?
It passed late last night. It sure did.
That is whose bill? Let's see.
Senator Angela Hill.
It's Angela Hill's bill. Was there some doubt on that?
Well, yesterday afternoon, we started getting word in the House that they had pushed that to the end of their calendar, and we scurried to try to find a bill that had the same codes or a code section that we could stick some of that language in, and we tried, but we ended up changing some of the language, and it did not serve the purpose of what the Fairness Act would do. So I'm so thankful it passed, and I'm looking forward to being an advocate for it when it gets to the House.
But are you saying it passed, but not with the language that you wanted in it?
In the House. I'm talking about the House now.
The House, okay.
The Senate passed, to my knowledge, with no amendments. I have no idea if there were any amendments. But in the House, we scurried to try to find some place to put some of that language in a bill, so in case that one didn't pass.
Why do you think it was put at the end of the calendar as far as the House is concerned?
I have no idea. That is Lieutenant Governor question. I have no idea.
Well, that's in the Senate.
In the Senate.
Okay.
Yes.
An act to create the Mississippi Fairness Act to require any public school, public institution of higher learning, or institutions of higher learning that is a member of the NCAA, et cetera, to designate its athletic team or sports according to a biological sex to provide protection for any school or institution of higher education that maintains separate athletic teams or sports for students of the female sex. Now, you were in the state legislature for a while as a senator. Mm-hmm. Sooner or later, we've got to come to Jesus on this meeting. On this issue.
The way I look at it now is the way I looked at it during those same years when I was serving in the Senate. The people of Mississippi have the right for their voice to be heard, and if they have strong feelings on an issue like that or any other, then their legislature needs to take care of their interests first. When you look at the United States, there is a large diversity of opinions across the country as to how you handle issues like this. But Mississippi has always had a way of looking at things that has to do with a moral basis, and those need to be honored in their laws.
I think you have a lot of people across the entire country are upset about this one. But the amazing thing about it, Jill, is that the women leaders in the feminist movement are silent on this issue.
Blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind.
It
Why
really
are
does.
we not backing our female athletes on this one? I don't understand how we could not. It's an oxymoron. I can't figure this out.
Go ahead.
Well, I just, while I have the mic for a second, I just want people to understand. I want my main mission for it to be people over profit. That's the reason that I'm there. Paul, you know that I have not been scared to fight the multi-million, billion-dollar industries. This is, to me, I am the voice for my people, and this landfill situation has, as Ron said, it will open your eyes to how much money is involved in trash. And so, again, I'm hopeful that this bill will see the light of day in the Senate. I believe last year, Lieutenant Governor Hosemann kept telling us to be patient because they had told him they were leaving Madison County, but instead they ended up filing 2 lawsuits against Madison County and one against the city of Ridgeland in an annexation situation. So now I'm very hopeful that Lieutenant Governor Hosemann will realize just how constitutionally sound this bill is and how ridiculous it is that we're still having this conversation, and he will put this bill in a committee. It will pass through that committee, and it will pass on the Senate floor because all of us are putting the people over the profit.
HB 949?
House Bill 949.
HB 949 is the bill that we're talking about.
And the House of Representatives voted wholeheartedly because they witnessed the trickery themselves on Wednesday. And so I can't even tell you how we've been dealing with this over the last couple of years.
One of the most disappointing things when you get in there, find out who knows who and who hires who and who's making money from who, and it's just so much in there.
What
was
that word? Putrid?
It's putrescible. That's what it is. I'm sure it is. One of the things that's really shocking about this case is that these people that want this landfill, this is all about profit, and they will say anything. Yeah. They're down there right now telling lies at the State House, telling people that the landfill is a dead deal, that they've withdrawn their applications, and the fact is as of today, they are fighting as hard as ever.
I'm the same way over the years. It doesn't matter to me and never has. But, again, millionaires do find a lot of friends who are in the elected office.
And I encourage anyone to go view my campaign contribution donation list on Secretary of State's office. I'm not here to serve big money. I'm here to serve the people.
One of the other things, Medicaid Commission to administer programs, abolish division of Medicaid, that's House Bill 1013. It's been held on a motion to table in the House.
More than likely, there was some heated discussion about that bill, but you're doing what most of my constituents do, Paul, and that is telling me a number, and I've been focused on about 2 numbers, and you're going to have to give me a little heads up on this.
But here behind the microphone, you're supposed to know it all.
Yeah, I know. But I do have one bill I wanted to talk about, and it's not mine. It's Chairman Trey Lamar's bill. It's House Bill 1140.
I will give you 2 minutes to do that in the final segment when we come back.
Okay, perfect.
And also the good news is, and Perez, you'll love this one, the alcohol beverage create delivery service permit did not die, from my understanding. It was transmitted to the Senate, so it passed the deadline where you can get home delivery of alcohol. So It's got better. It's got a better future than the possibility of the landfill. Figure that one out. We'll know. It's all in the hands of the Senate.
I am trusting Lieutenant Governor Hosemann to do the right thing. I know it is. He's going to do it. I know he will.
So Hoseman's carrying the garbage bags now.
He is my hero.
The ball is in his court.
The bag is in his court as we speak.
That's right.
Final segment's next. We would give you, what was it, 1140?
It's a House Bill 1140.
1140, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Go forth.
It would hold drug dealers accountable for the mixing and distribution of a substance that's proven to cause the death of the deceased. And it would be, right now, the way the bill's written, it would charge them with first-degree murder. But we know there needs to be some adjustments to this bill. And I know that charge would not be as... I guess that's just about as high as you can go, isn't it? Maybe manslaughter. But even though this is Chairman Lamar's bill, this is an important bill to me because I know of at least 9 families in Madison County alone that have been impacted by this. And I know there must be hundreds of families over this state that have lost children, especially to overdoses. The Lafayette County Metro Narcotics recently reported that within the first 31 days of this year, they've had 7 overdoses, 5 resulting in death. I am sad to report that one of those happened this weekend before last. That's an average of about a death per week.
This is in Lafayette County
in
itself?
Oxford, yes.
Really?
There is supposedly the trends seen over the last couple of months in Oxford is prescription drugs being pressed with fentanyl, along with fentanyl in meth and ecstasy and heroin. They have a press that looks like a Xanax, and so they're pressing a powder like, say, baking soda. They're cutting that with a tad bit of fentanyl, and it's killing these kids because they think they're taking a Xanax.
You said 30?
No, within the first 30 days, 31 days of this year.
How many overdoses?
5 overdoses, 7 overdoses, 5 deaths.
7 overdoses.
That's an average of about a child a week.
Jeez.
So we can't, as a body at the legislature, we're made up of parents and grandparents, and we have to do something before we break in March. And this bill is an avenue for us to be able to start holding these
It increases penalties.
It does. It increases penalties. And look, I'm hopeful that this would give a revelation to those that deal in the distribution and mixing of drugs when they realize that the accountability of their actions will be much greater once this becomes law. Those out there with this press that they're looking for, I think they say.
So they look like a regular pill, is what you're saying.
They do. They look like a Xanax.
Where are they getting these? In the mail, or
no?
Do you have any idea?
Someone has a press, and they are actually looking for that press right now. It's in the state of Mississippi. Somewhere in the
You're
state.
asking how they buy them. These are kids that live in an apartment complex while they're going to school or whatever, and it may be their neighbor across the hall. I mean, this stuff is readily available in all of our college towns and every community in Mississippi. It's a serious scourge.
They probably don't know that fentanyl is in there, do they?
Oh,
of course not.
Of course not.
Sorry, they don't have like a little prescription thing with what's in there.
The ingredients are not listed on
the bottle.
It doesn't say fentanyl or meth.
No, it does not.
And so it is scary. But anytime you put something in your mouth that you do not know where it came from or what's in it, you're gambling.
And I'm somewhat concerned about this new marijuana initiative that we've passed and how easy it's going to be for these drug dealers, mixers, processors, pressers. They're going to want to use some of this marijuana that will be easily accessible to include this fentanyl, just a tad bit. It doesn't take but a tiny bit of fentanyl.
So in other words, go legally get it from a person who's got a legal card, and then
they can have a legal card. If they say they have a backache, they can have a legal card.
And then they can massage the. They can add a little creativity to the ingredients. By the way, that marijuana bill failed yesterday as far as the state bill, didn't it?
I
think it did.
No, think they took it up. I was in bed by 11:30, and I think they had taken it up like around midnight.
I'm jealous if you got to go to bed by 11:30. I was up past midnight. Yesterday was a long day in the legislature. It surely was. Yeah.
Home inspector's license require applicants to undergo certain background checks, transmitted to the Senate. I was just looking here because I had it somewhere, but I do believe that that bill did not make it and died on the as far as deadline's concerned. So
a lot of bills die on this deadline, but the landfill bill is still living to fight another day, and we need everybody's help getting the Senate to vote.
You want to give any numbers out or anything like that? But the lieutenant governor is the person of note here, and.
Well, I've been handed a note that says that the lieutenant governor's office number is 601-359-3200.
Again, one more time.
601-359-3200.
House Bill 949. Jill's bill. Just call it that. That's what all the guys
Jill's
were calling it in
and the
House.
The message, if you need to know what to say when you call, is let the Senate vote.
All right. Anything else you want to mention? Well, we got about 30 seconds here.
People over profit.
People over profit is. You got a bumper sticker on that?
No, but I'm going to hashtag it.
We've got one that says no more dumps if you need it. Just let me know.
Oh, God.
We're serious about this, aren't we?
I tell you.
Chris, what's the word?
That's what I want is on my bumper on the right side.
Prohibit proliferation of putrescible waste in Madison County in Mississippi.
Sticker
it's
that
easier
says
to say people over profit.
Try X-Lax, and then on the left side of the bumper, no more dumps. And thanks, guys.
We can
Appreciate
hook you
it
up.
very much. Yeah, I bet you can.
Bye.
Who's next?
Thanks.